Hello, everyone. Welcome to Subscriber Sunday here at Sassy Gal Prepping. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad you are here. Thank you for joining me. And I see some people are coming in and they've been having some chatting going on even before the stream started. And I love to see that. I love to see people chatting with each other. And I'm looking on my phone. That's what I have down here. Um, and I just want to make sure things are looking good so far. So I hope everyone is doing well this weekend. And thanks, Biggs Prep. I just saw you said you popped that like button. Yes, everyone, please pop that like button, smash that like button, and don't forget to leave a comment on the actual video itself, even if it's just a thanks for the great stream or something like that. That really does help. Really, really does help. Speaking of things that really help, I would like to say, let me see if he's in the house first. Is Nate in the house tonight? Oh, I don't see him. He might come on, but I would like to publicly say thank you to Nate. I received a donation this week from him, got a little notification. So I wanted to say thank you very much. That was super nice. Um and so I see some new people here tonight. So I'm just going to start is I think Glenn is here. Glenn Anderson, welcome. I haven't seen you in a while, so welcome back to the chat. Rita's here. Rachel's back again. Welcome. Let's see. Creative Redundancy is here. Prepping by Faith. Thank you for being here and modding for me tonight. The Bigs Prep. Cynthia, hello. And let's see, Dove season 91. Welcome. I'm not sure if is this your first chat with us, the first time here, or if you've been here and I just am forgetting. I apologize. Blue Ridge Survival Prepping. Hello. Let's see, who else do we have? McBean Scottish Fitness. Hello. Hello from OT and second shift. Okay. Okay, and I think that is everybody. So everybody's waving. I love it. I love it. As more people are coming on, I just wanted to share a little bit of what we have coming up this week. All right, first time live, recent subscriber. Whoop, whoop. Everyone say hello to Dove Season 91. We welcome you to the Sassy Gal family. We're sassy preppers here. Okay, so this week, I've got some interesting things coming up, and I hope I can get them all done before this weekend. And here's why, because this weekend, my youngest daughter, who is 16, she's not so young anymore, she and I are going to be going camping with our American Heritage Girls troop. And so yeah, we're spending this whole week getting things ready and prepped, getting our tent set up and the stuff in the tent, like our cots, and seeing how we want to get everything arranged before we pack up the van and get going to our camping trip. And so that's going to be, we're a little bit nervous because we had our first frost this advisory last night into this morning. So it got down to 36 degrees Fahrenheit for some of you Canadian people. That's Fahrenheit. And then we have, oh gosh, what am I saying? I'm sorry, I got distracted by one of the chat things I just saw scrolling up. And then let's see, what was I talking about? We had, so we're a little nervous about camping and sleeping outside in a tent with it being that cold. So I have been watching videos about having a Mr. Heater buddy inside the tent. And so I was looking for how to do that, just to make sure it's done safely. And I wasn't going to run it all night. I was going to run it just to like warm up the tent right as we're getting ready for bed. And then also, turn it off overnight and then turn it on again in the morning when we wake up and we're getting dressed and things and, that kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah, Prepping by Faith says could be chilly. Bring those extra layers. We are layered up, chica. I got my 0-degree bag. Yeah, we went out and got thermals, wool socks. I mean, I am ready to go. At least I hope I am. What is this? 16-year-old teen, hormones and tennis shoes. What? Come on. She's actually really good. She has earned a lot of her she's in charge of the fire. She knows all of our fire safety things, and so she's actually teaching some of the younger girls. Um and what else? Like let's see. Yeah. So last year, let me tell you, this is how good we are at camping. Okay. So last year there were 5 or 6 families, I think, that were with us. One, two, yeah, there were 6 families. My troop coordinator and myself, we were the only ones that had tents left standing after a storm blew through in the afternoon on Saturday. We all had to we thought that, there was a tornado, so the staff, the directors called us and all of the campers and everybody into one of the big buildings there, a permanent structure, and I'm telling you, I really did think a tornado came through there, but it was horrendous rain, and it came right through, and when I left and got back to our campsite, every all of the tents except for 2, mine and my troop coordinators, had been just they were just flattened and they were flooded, and I felt so bad for those families, but so we helped them pack up, and then we all just went home because everything was soaked. We only had 2 campers, and at that point we're just like, yeah, we're going to go home. So yeah, so and all of our stuff was dry. Well, rainstorm came through, our tent stood up, the rains came down and the floods came up. Do you remember that song? Anybody remember that song from Sunday school, like when you were kids? Anyway, oh my goodness, you guys, look at you. My 12-year-old is the hormones in tennis shoes. Yes, we've seen this. I've seen tents do a 360 in the air before. My husband has a funny story that he tells from when he was den leader in Cub Scouts, and he said one of his boys, um, he was so little and he was in a tent by himself, and apparently he didn't get it staked down very well, and the wind caught it and he went with the tent. So the tent looks like it's tumbleweed rolling down, and he's in there and he's like, help. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Do you remember that song? I thought you might. I thought you might. Anybody else have teenagers and hormones and tennis shoes? Hey, thanks for doing that. The Big Prep Dove Season 91. If you guys aren't subscribed, go over to their channel and subscribe because that's what we do here. I have my fuzzy socks on. Got my fuzzy socks on and my fuzzy sweater. Ooh, whoops. I had to go get my fuzzy sweater because it got a little chilly. The sun went down and I had to close the windows. It got up nice and 65 today. It was nice. But anyway, and I had to be in my dining room tonight. So that's why we have a different background because I had a little bit of a technical issue upstairs. My what do you call them? My smoke detector started chirping and I didn't have enough time to change it, so I ran down here. I ran down here. Oh my gosh, yeah, it took me back to Sunday school. Yes, and thank you, Prepping by Faith, for telling everyone to hit that like button. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I did. Let me see. I did something too. So I'll like make these little fun tickers. Yeah. So if you want to buy me a coffee, I love coffee. And I spend and really I've only had like 2 people ever buy me coffee. And and so I've just let the money sit in. Oh, actually no, 3 4 3. So say yeah, 3 people. And one I actually cashed in and Van City Prepper, she was my first ever that bought me coffee and I cashed that in and had a coffee. So anyway, but I will gladly shout you out on my channel for that um and I should do something else for that too. I could be thinking about that. If anybody wants to buy me a coffee, I got to give you something, huh? All right, so we have camping coming up, and then I have a video coming up tomorrow. It's the $25 Prepper Pantry Challenge with Linda's Prepper Kitchen. She's hosting that. So this will be week. What week are we on? 5. Are we week on 5? Yeah. Wait a minute. Huh? 1, 2, 3. So I've done 3 weeks. I missed the first week. So this was week number 4. Sorry. So it'll be week number 4, and then we have 2 more weeks after that. And then I actually have a video coming out that is an Aldi haul. I don't get down to Aldi that much because it's way out of my way, but I had to be in the area for an appointment, so I decided to take advantage of that. So I'll have a little bit of I have a video for that. And then I'll try to do some stuff on my Instagram channel. I'm Sassy Gal Preppin on Instagram, and I'll probably be doing stories throughout our weekend at camping. That is, if I have good reception. I'll try to be doing some of that stuff so you guys can keep track of what we're doing with camping. Let's see who's here. Who is here? Renata, is this your first time here? If so, welcome, welcome. Thank you for doing your jobs, mods. Is apartment prepper here tonight? I don't think I saw her. Um, you know what? If you want to, Cynthia, if you want to do something for the last 2 weeks, or even if you want to go out tomorrow and do it, or even this week, because people add their videos to her challenge list, all week. And so if you want to do something and put it in there, go ahead and she'll add you. Just tag her or send her an email and she'll add you to the playlist if you want to do it. It's open. It's an open collaboration. And speaking of collaborations, I was really surprised at my video that I posted on Friday, which I was calling the Friday Five, and it was about challenging everyone where they can find $5 in their budget. If they can set $5 aside, if they can sell something, if they can forego, a coffee or a sandwich. You can't even go through the drive-through and get a chicken sandwich for $5 anymore. So anyway, but if you do that and take that $5 and go to a store, it can be any store you want, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Maybe you've got a different discount type of store that, uh, but any store, and take $5 and see just it could be one or two items, could be 5 items, who knows? And take that and start building a pantry, because I've heard so many people say that they just, not necessarily on YouTube, but I've heard people say, I can't afford to do it, or I don't, I think Seabass had a good comment on my video today of, if people would just think differently about how to get started, just thinking outside the box, because I believe that we as a society, we as a whole, the normies, maybe, I don't know what all of everybody's nicknames are, but I think what is going on is that, in fact, I know this, we've all been conditioned to think that we should just buy what we need, 1 week at a time or out of our paychecks, to budget accordingly. So we buy groceries, we buy things that we need, for 1 or 2 weeks at a time. We're not conditioned to think to stock up. And so it goes against a lot of the stuff that people have been taught, that if I buy this, I'm going to be hoarding. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to, if it's something I don't need, I think it's going to be wasteful. I had one person comment on one of my videos several months back, that if we did prepping and if we had all of this stuff stocked up, in our pantries and our basements or around our house, that it was going, like, what if something happened? What if our basement got flooded, or what if your house caught on fire, or something devastating, and then you would lose all your preps and you would lose all your money. And my answer was yes, I would. I probably would. But you know what? I have the skills and I can start all over again. That's the risk. With that kind of thinking, why would I want to buy a car, or why would I want to buy a house? Because that investment, I could buy this house and something could happen to it, right? A lot of people just lost their homes in Hurricane Ian. We had tornadoes come through here. Oh, I don't remember what was remnants of a Hurricane Isabel. I think that's what it was. Hurricane Isabel, when the remnants were making its way up here, we had tornado after tornado after tornado, and that's not common in my area. And we had lots of people, losing their homes and stuff, because they just weren't prepared for tornadoes. So, okay, Renata, it's not your first time. Okay, maybe I just haven't seen you. Starting small makes big. Yep, that's right. One step at a time, little by little, inch by inch, and you'll get there. Hey, the one who Jesus loves, welcome, welcome to the chat. I haven't said welcome to you yet. I never worry about anyone thinks. I buy what I want, period. Exactly. That's how it should be, right? Exactly. You do you, I do me, and we're all going to get along and support each other on this journey that we're taking. So back to the thinking, like we are conditioned, I'm not going to say programmed, but we are conditioned into thinking that if we're buying stuff that we don't need today, that, that it's associated with something bad. And that's not the case at all. And, so gosh, how long have I been doing this? I was a heavy couponer about 12 years ago is when I really started couponing heavy. And that's how I started my pantry. But I never really thought of it as prepping, because I've just been doing this for a while. I have a family of 5. I need to feed them, and I don't have a lot of money to do so, because, even then, you have a family of 5, you gotta provide all kinds of things, especially when your kids are young and you have diapers or, you gotta buy them clothes because they're growing and everyone's eating you out of house and home. And, so I was like, "You know what? If I can buy all this food and buy my groceries for rock bottom prices." I followed sales cycles. I had a huge binder with coupons, and I could buy multiple items of things and get them for, 50 cents a thing. And I mean, I was doing that. And that way I can shop from my pantry and then stock my pantry when as the sales cycles are coming around. So anyway, it is something to think about. Um, Where did I just see this? Yeah. Yeah, right here. My biggest fear is to lose all my preps in an earthquake. Mhm. I mean, we could go, my goodness, we could be thinking all the time about, well, I've heard people talk about having preps in a storage unit, or they have preps in this location and not keeping everything in one location. And and that can drive you nuts too. Um it's because, because then what if something happened to your storage unit, or what if you have another location and something happens to that? I mean, you can have things in your basement, you can have things on your main floor, you can have things in your bedroom, but you know what? Don't be, I'm going to say not to be worried so much about the risk. You are making an investment, and with everything in life, there is always going to be a risk. If you have the skills to do it now, you're going to have the skills to rebuild if something devastating happens and you were to lose your home, or your apartment, or my basement were to be flooded and I were to lose, the majority of my preps are down there. So yeah, it would be devastating, but you can rebuild. That's the best thing about being strong, having these kinds of skills, that we can just start right from where we're at and just start over again. Yeah, it would suck big time, but we just start right from where we are and we'll just start going again. That's what it is. We are overcomers, everyone. We know how to survive. And if we lose things, if our it's devastating. I'm not going to say, these people that just lost their homes and their livelihoods or their businesses, that is a huge loss and it cuts deep, but you can rebuild. And a lot of times people rebuild back stronger. So let me see. Let me back up here. Rita says, look at it this way. Instead of saying, I can't afford to do it, tell yourself, I can't afford not to do it. And that's so true. Every little bit counts. Glenn has a question. And so maybe we can maybe you all have been answering it. I'm just not getting to it. So, how does someone only buy for a day or a week at a time? I don't know. I know that when I was growing up, it was just my mom and I, and we had a very, very, very tight budget. We did not have a lot of things, um, and my mom was very tight with the budget, and we would go grocery shopping on her paycheck, which, I don't remember if she got paid weekly or biweekly. I don't remember. But I remember when she got paid, that was the day we went grocery shopping, or that was the weekend anyway, that we went grocery shopping, and we had everything planned out so that we had this meal on this day, this meal on this day, and that's how we did our grocery shopping. Um, and then um, and then so that's what we bought for, because that's all we could afford. So we literally did not stock up um like I am now. My mom had stocked up for 2 weeks, if you will. We stocked out for 2 weeks. And then we went grocery shopping again, and we stocked out for 2 weeks again. But I was noticing that, if you're buying every day, you're going to be wasting money, because all of the extra trips and buying on impulse, that kind of stuff, it's better to plan out, and you can buy your groceries for a week if that's all you can do, or you can buy and I'm sure if I understood your question or not, Glenn. um I hope that answers your question, or if you were just making a comment. Yes, I always think I can, instead of saying, I can't do this. I don't see how I can do this or anything like that. Say, how can I make this work? Okay. This is a want. So one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight really was more like a want and versus a need, and how so here's something that I want, and here is something I need. And so let's put that into perspective. Do I really need this? I want this. Is this something that I can wait for? Some of us have on our wish lists like little generators or certain things, that we have to save up for, right? So we save up for because this is a want, but it's also a need, you know? But then there are other things that just like, well, I want to have television. I want to have a movie subscription service, but do I really need that? Do I need television? A lot of people I know don't have any kind of a television. They just kind of get what they get on YouTube, and um and that's their programming, that's their entertainment, social media, that kind of stuff. And so, like weighing out. So, and one of the reasons why I feel like I'm just jumping around, sorry, everybody. Um, never say never. Absolutely. And one of the reasons that I was thinking about a lot of this stuff over this last week, what triggered me, can I say that? But no, what got me thinking about it was I got this book for my birthday. It's Clara's Kitchen, and if you haven't seen Grandma Clara's channel, you need to go to her on YouTube. And I just love watching her share her memories and the recipes and things from when she grew up during the Great Depression. And so in this book, not only do you have recipes that she shares, but she shares them all along in stories and her memories and things. And in the very first chapter, actually, it's in the introduction, she says, she always told people that it wasn't easy, but we managed. She says, we just relied on what we did have. And here's the thing: the ability to sacrifice and put our needs in perspective. And that's kind of what prompted the whole Friday 5 thing. Is just like, you know what? I went out and I got a coffee because I wanted it. It was a treat. It was fun. And then I thought, you know what? I don't need this. So what if I was to take the $5 and spend it on preps? What kind of a pantry could I build? Let's say I had to start over. And what kind of a pantry could I build with just $5 a week? Trying to see that you can do something with just a little bit of something, putting it all into perspective, relying on what you do have. And that is, that ability to be able to discern between wants and versus needs. And also being willing, this is me, being willing to give up something so that you can provide in another area. So we've had meetings. There was one year, this is probably maybe 10 years ago, and we all sat around the table and we were having a discussion about how much money we could give to our missions program at our church. And we were really looking to see what we could do for 1 year to sacrifice. If I sacrifice this thing that I usually get all the time, or a monthly subscription, and that kind of thing, and say, I'm going to sacrifice this $15 a month, and I'm going to go ahead and give it to missions. And we all did something. I gave up a coffee drink, and the kids did stuff, and we just were able to do a monthly promise of giving to our missions and our church. And it really helps you to start looking at, what do I really need? It's okay to want things and to treat ourselves to things. We got to do that. We got to have fun. We got to have fun in there, other, because we can't always be so focused on the serious, because this is what we look like. When we do that, we get grumpy. And so, yes, while we do realize that there is an urgency to being prepared for emergencies and things like that, we have to be having fun at the same time. We have to be enjoying what we're doing. Let me come back to the comments. All right, Dub91, I've been praying, or I'm sorry, praying. Oh gosh, sorry. I've been prepping for over 20 years. And as long as you are considering various negative scenarios, it's a good thing. Contingencies are something to consider. Don't worry though, that's why we prep. Absolutely. Love it. Love that. That's exactly why we prep. Okay, here's something interesting. Before the cooties, I only bought for 3 days tops. Has that changed? Yeah, okay, here's the next comment. Ugh. Now I'm prepared. Good for you. Good for you. I think a lot of people have had an experience, eye-opening experience during this time. Hey, Farmer Son Preppin', are you still on the chat? I'm just not getting to say hello to you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, right here. It takes so much time and effort to shop every day. And I don't know how anyone, unless you drive by a market on your way home from work every day. For me, my husband, that's the last thing he would want to do. Before 2020, he was commuting to work every day, 70 miles each way. That's the last thing he'd want to do, is to have to stop somewhere and get something on the way home. I'll tell you what he would do if he was a bachelor. He would probably just drive through Burger King, or drive through Chick-fil-A or something on the way home, because when you've had a 12, 14-hour day, that's adding in commute time. You don't want to come home and cook. And I think that's probably why a lot of people would go out and eat, and then maybe they would buy groceries for the weekend, you know? Maybe that's Nene says, I know someone that only buys by the day or two and is always out of food. Exactly. And Cynthia did the Biggs Prep. She did a post Hurricane Ian walkthrough her Aldi store, and it was shocking. I haven't seen that, a store up here look like that since 2020, since March of 2020. And a lot of our stores were down to bare bones, and that's what her store looked like. And it just cleans out in a matter of hours, and yeah, I don't know how people I just don't know how you can do that. Not if you're on here and you do that, that's no offense. I don't mean anything bad. For me, I don't know how, because I've been doing it. I don't think I've ever bought one day at a time, but I used to have impulse buys, and I found myself going to the store a lot, and it is exhausting. And if you have little kids, forget it. I love, when my kids were little, we didn't have the Walmart pickup or the grocery deliveries, or a lot of these things where you can just do curbside pickup. Oh my gosh. And even like Amazon. We didn't have Amazon when my kids were little. And so I would have loved to have everything shipped to me, so I didn't have to take my kids to the store. That was such a headache. Um, and so I would have loved a Walmart pickup then. I just could leave the kids in the car. Everybody just can just stay in, Yeah, okay, the one whom Jesus loves. I worked at a grocery store for 30 years, so I just picked up a few things here and there. Oh, okay, food for thought. Okay, just a comment. Gotcha. I know, shopping every single day. Apartment preppers in the house. Hey, glad you are here. Everyone's saying welcome. That's awesome. You see, I'm sorry, I'm looking. LG is here. Thanks for being here. Renata, yes, Dollar General has a $5 off coupon when you spend 25 and over. And so that's my video that's coming out tomorrow, is the $25 Dollar General. That challenge that Linda's Prepper Kitchen is doing. And so yeah, I did use that. So you're getting $30 of stuff for 25. And you know what? There is a lot of stuff at Dollar General that is $1. So you can find some things there that are cheaper than the Dollar Tree. But make sure you compare, because I can't reach it. But there are some things that like I got a tube of toothpaste, and you'll see it in the video. It's kind of a small tube. It's Colgate. It's $1. It's not a dinky tube, but you can get a full size tube of toothpaste at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. So kind of have to weigh, yeah, I'm only paying $1, but you're not getting as much. Not necessarily shrinkflation, but just, it's this size for $1 versus, this size for $1.25. So anyway, yeah. So y'all download the Dollar General app. Okay. You guys use that coupon. you can go shopping, but you have to go on a Saturday. So good. Everyone's still here. So, how is the move going, apartment prepper? Are you guys all settled and unpacked? You got your preps all set up somewhere? Yes, I do think that we've all learned to be better prepared. Good. Okay, the Big's prep. You went back today and it was much better. I have to say that our Aldi store up here was very well stocked. I was surprised. And the produce, oh my gosh, I was really surprised at the produce. And so I think I'm going to start making the effort to get down there and include an Aldi haul in my regular grocery stuff because it was worth it because that their prices on some of their especially their canned vegetables and things like that were beating out the Sharp Shopper discount grocery store that I have here in my town. And that was amazing because like my vegetables at that store, I think I can't get any less than 79 cents. And Aldi had them for I think it was 58 cents. So yeah, it was like, you know what? I might need to get down there. You're tired, but you still have a lot to do, but not rushing it. That's good. Apartment prepper, take your time. Get things where you really want them. Yeah, Cynthia, it used to be so poor that I used to buy food for my kids and I ate the leftovers. Let me tell you, we have been there. Um, I got to thinking like when I was reading about Grandma Clara, and she was talking about depression, some of the things that her parents did. My grandma had a farm and that's my mom's mom. So I was out there a lot. We were out there. So my mom was a single mom and I really think that I never felt like we were without stuff. I mean, there were obvious things. I mean, that just the very place that we lived, there's times where, my mom and I had to share a bed and we didn't have a whole lot of stuff. We may have had a couch. We didn't have any appliances except for what came with the apartment and things like that. But I never felt like we were going hungry. I guess it's just because when you get used to it, maybe it's because we were at my grandma's a lot on weekends. And then, of course, grandma's got to load you up with food, and of course, they had to farm. And so we could take we'd pick berries and we'd bring vegetables home and all kinds of stuff. And so we would have all of that. And we would eat good on the weekends. Let me tell you, my grandma, she cooked for everybody. But anyway, I just got to thinking about all the stuff that Grandma Clara was sharing. And I love the wisdom that she had. Just practical stuff. She's just like, you know what? You don't oh, I was this is what I wanted to share. It was a conversation that I had with a lady at the store, and it was the Dollar General store, and she was commenting about the green beans I bought, and she asked me something about how they were, if they tasted better than this or that, and I was like, you know what? I don't care. I want food on my table, and if there are green beans in this store, I'm going to buy them. I don't care what brand they are. I don't care if they're cut green beans or French style. I just want food on my table, and if I'm gonna get it at this store, I'm gonna get it. And she laughed. She goes, "Well, I guess I'm just a picky eater." And I said, "I can't afford to be picky right now." Right, it taught us how to live with nothing, right, and I learned how to go without and be like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, we're just gonna eat peanut butter for a week," you know? Yeah, I have survived on nothing, don't wanna do it again, but I know I can, and that's exactly true. I don't wanna get to that point. Yeah, I was just peanut butter and bread for months. You know what? Also, you can, live on honey too. Honey is supposed to be, like, a good all over, like, type of food, so honey, um, you can reuse tea bags up to 3 times. Ask me how I know. How do you know? You know what? You can use K-cups more than once too. Just saying. All right. Oh gosh, I am way behind on comments. I can see it. Ah! Oh wait, maybe not. Oh, well, no, we're not gonna live on honey if we're diabetic. No, we're not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. And I think, oh, what movie was it? The Martian. The Martian had, where he lived on potatoes because he got left behind. Everybody thought he was dead, and so they had to try to plan a mission to Mars from Earth to go rescue him. And so he rationed all of the food that they had in their little Mars station, and he actually grew potatoes on Mars, and he ate potatoes the whole time he was up there. I thought that was like, oh, we all need to remember that. Everybody grow potatoes, okay? I keep thinking there was something else that I wanted to tell you guys. Let me see here. Hold on a second. Oh, I think it was a question. It was like, because we were talking about like the ability to sacrifice and put our needs in perspective. We're um you got bread, we only got peanut butter on a spoon. Oh, our bread was saved for the hot dogs. We had hot dog. We had so yeah. So I probably have yeah because for school my mom made me a bologna sandwich. Um, I had rice for breakfast. I'm trying to remember it was, and if it was a treat, if we could afford the little anything like a Twinkie or a Hostess cupcake or a pie or something, oh my gosh, that was a treat. But yeah, most of the time I would have a thermos with soup in it or something. I always hated taking my lunch to school because I just always felt so embarrassed. I didn't have any of the cool stuff and whatever, but it was what it was. I survived. Giant has $30 off $60 if you download Giant. As in like Giant Foods? I have that app. Well, mine is Martin's. Martin's is part of the Giant's Foods. Speaking of apps, you guys, I did a video on look for the videos that talk about what's the name of that app? Flash Food. Okay. Flash Food is part of they work in the stores like Giant, Martin's, and then I know Meyer is one. And then there's some other ones that there's it's scattered all over, but that's another app to have, and I've been getting all of my produce for 50% off. I got a bag of I put a whole bag of apples on the dehydrator. I'm making dehydrated apple slices today, and and they were like organic. So like I can't who can afford organic produce right now, right? Barely afford bananas. But oh, yeah, so anyway, I've been getting that stuff for 50% off. Honey Crisp apples, which are like always expensive. It's like must be a bougie kind of apple or something. They are good. And I've been getting those for 50% off. Of course, we are in the apple country capital of the world. This is the home of White House apples. We've got a lot of apples up here, and it's been harvest season, and we're there's apples everywhere. And so I've been taking advantage of that Flash Food app, and whenever I see all the stuff get in there from the Martin store, I'm getting those apples and I'm getting them half off, and so I'm just gonna dehydrate them and make them into apple slices. Well, I can get a bag of apples for $1.49. I'm going to be doing it. So I'm going to be, apples, and then potatoes is the same thing. I got a 3-pound bag of potatoes for $1.50. So I'm going to be doing, I've been thinking about getting a second dehydrator, and I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I know some people have 2 dehydrators. I think Linda's Prepper Kitchen is one because I see them in the background sometimes in her videos. I think she has 2 dehydrators. Martin's Midlife Misadventures, I think they might have 2 as well. But yeah, I was thinking about getting another one just so I can just beef up my dehydrating because I can't do it fast enough. So, okay, Giant Food Store. Seriously? I have the app, so I wonder if that will work with me or not. Hey, Nene, I just saw this. Peanut PBJ on biscuits. Yes. We had my mom and I would take crackers. I don't know if it was like a Ritz cracker, I think. And then we would put frosting in the middle and we would make cookies with them. A lot of people have 2. I still don't have 1. We need to take care of that for you, girly girl. Now that you're all moved in your place and settled, pick out a spot for a dehydrator, okay? We're gonna take care of you. Everybody has to have a dehydrator. Just saying. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Fried flour tortillas with cinnamon, sugar, and applesauce. Yes. I make my own tortilla chips sometimes with the corn tortillas that come like they come in a bag, refrigerated or whatever. And you can fry those. You can put them in the oven and bake them. Same thing with flour tortillas with cinnamon, sugar. Oh my gosh, it sounds so good. I need to do some of those. And Michelle Mitten Prepper did a video recently where she just used like pie crusts and cinnamon and sugar, I think, and that was it. She made something very much like that too. Yeah, as long as you have a place to store it, you know how long it takes. Yeah, you gotta have a place. Every time I think about that, I'm like, oh, where are we gonna put it? What can I? And here's another thing: what can I get rid of? Because I can have the dehydrator is more important. So let me go through my things. It's like, what am I not using? Do I really need this? Can I give it to somebody else? Can I donate it? Or try to sell it? That kind of thing. That's something else I've been doing a lot of is selling things. So I talk about on my one of my videos that I sold. I'm going through a lot of stuff that in the basement that's just been stored there for too long because I was hoping that I could sell it in a yard sale, but I never get around to it. And so I pulled all these clothes out and I was just been donating them to the hospice or some other clothing centers, trying to put some things on consignment, trying to sell things on Facebook Marketplace. And I did sell an outfit, a young toddler outfit that was a fleece coat and overall set. And I sold that for $5, took that $5 and that's what I did with it and went to the Friday Five. That's when I started the Friday Five. So um do the math. Will you use it? Will it help you? Yeah, save you money and time in the long run. Can you afford to get it? If so, then get it. Right. More stuff. More stuff. Homemade frosting. Oh, let's see. My mom used to make sugar cookies with like, I think it was like a depression era recipe because really all it had was like some oil and sugar and flour. That was it. It might have had a little bit of baking soda or some or baking powder in it, I think, but I know it was those three main ingredients. And my mom made those. They just were kind of real, kind of what do I want to call it? I want to say they were little goopy, sticky kind of, and you would just drop them onto a. She always used a foil lined baking sheet, and then she'd bake them. And then she did make that homemade frosting with like powdered sugar and milk. Um, and then put the frosting on the cookies, and everybody loved them. She always made them, and I still make them too because it makes me think of her. 75-year-old father still puts frosting on graham crackers. Yep, same here. We do the same thing. So let's share how we make the frosting. I know I would usually make the frosting that's on the back of the powdered sugar thing, box or bag or whatever it is that you're getting. That's what I would do. Mm. Ate a lot of pancakes. Oh yeah, we did too. Okay, here we go. I got you all beat. I would have Miracle Whip and onion sandwich in my school lunch. Ooh! Was that all that was on it? Was just Miracle Whip and onion? Because that's interesting because I really do love onion, and I would have like a tomato and onion sandwich. I love me a good tomato sandwich, y'all. Oh my gosh. Powdered sugar. Okay, butter is in it too. Duh, vanilla and milk. Okay. I knew something. I knew there was a couple ingredients, but I used to get soup in a thermos almost every day with homemade bread. Oh, you know what? That actually sounds really good right now. Soup and soup and homemade bread. It's chilly here, and I know that I'm just being complaining. I'm just not ready for the winter yet. Yeah, y'all. I love how y'all sharing stories and stuff because these are the things that we need to think about. Um, Let me see. Oh, shoot. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I'm gonna type in. I'm gonna do some typing here. Hold on. There was a comment that I wanted to share with you guys, and I'm just gonna have to read it. Um, is it this one? Whoop, stop. Yes, actually, okay, so this was a comment that LG made on my video about the Friday 5, and I'm just gonna go ahead and read it because I can't really get well, I could share my screen. Well, that's all right. Here we go. Hold on, y'all. I'm sharing my screen. And I'm going to share a tab. And we're going to do this. There we go. But I'm going to come down here. Okay. So, this comment, I hope y'all can see that. LG says, and here's the comment right. Whoa, hello. Here's the comment right here. I think this is a great concept to learn how to make wiser decisions with our finances. I frequently look for ways to stretch food to make it last longer. Generally, tomato paste is pretty inexpensive and it comes in a little container that takes up a lot less space. So, what I do is mix a container of tomato sauce, tomato paste, water, vegetable bouillon, and some spices like basil and then butter. And what this does is make one container of sauce into at least two. Then I put the leftover sauce back into the pasta sauce jar for leftovers. If you get, and then, so that's awesome idea. I love this. Y'all need to like go back and like take a screenshot of that. And because that was really cool. And then he went on to say, well, they went on to say, if you get the plain oatmeal without anything added to it, you can use it with tuna in the can, keep the liquid from the tuna, and mix it all in thoroughly with a couple tablespoons of the oatmeal. You can add whatever you like to the mix in like mayo, vinegar, onion, celery, peppers, etc. Let chill for a bit to let the flavors mix and oatmeal to absorb the liquid. This way you can extend one can of tuna to about 50% more. Again, I just thought this was genius. I've never tried this and I'm going to actually both of these I want to try and do this just to see what it's like because that is just I love these ideas that everyone is sharing. I love it. Y'all y'all getting a sweet tooth? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go. That was just awesome. I love how you guys are sharing your ideas and everything. Uh-oh. And then everybody's got to restock their hard candy. Yep. Got to stock it up. Stock it up. So back to the question I was thinking of like the ability to sacrifice and put our needs into perspective. Like what are you willing to give up? Are you going to can you sacrifice a coffee for your preps? Um, that was because that's the Friday 5 that I'm doing. Will you sacrifice space for preps? Like, are you going to give up some of your closet space? Can you go through your clothes and find out, like I don't really need these things, but I can use this space and then I can put stuff in here. Um, so giving up some space, maybe some cabinets, maybe the tops of your cabinets, those kinds of things. Just looking around for things where you can sacrifice some space, a bookshelf. I know that was one thing that I was trying to think of, trying to find up in my bedroom. What about sacrificing time for prepping your foods? That's a sacrifice. Are you willing to give that up and spend, a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday in the kitchen, prepping things up, like getting things on your dehydrators or canning your meats, canning soups, vegetables, those kinds of things? Are you willing to sacrifice that? Are you willing to sacrifice some of the things that you want to do to buy a new piece of equipment, maybe a solar generator or things like that? You say, you know what? No, I'm going to forego this because we're saving up and I'm just going to put this over here and we're going to save up and get that solar generator or get that thing, whatever it is. Um, you know, maybe it's a habit, I mean, this is a habit for me, coffee. Giving up one thing to be able to repurpose that for something that you're investing into yourself. So, um, oh, here you go. Dehydrate those ugly tomatoes, turn them into powder in a blender, and mix with a little water to make your own tomato paste. Yes, I have seen people do this, and it's time consuming, sacrificing that time to do it, right? Growing a garden, sacrificing some of your time, to take care of a garden. Sacrificing, a specific brand. That was one of the things I was thinking of when I was in the grocery store. A specific brand for what's affordable or even what's available. So if you, like Jif peanut butter and you're kind of, really liking that, but it wasn't available for a while because of a recall, and so you bought a store brand, those kinds of things, you might need to do that. Now I understand there are some people, because some people have certain things that they're dealing with, certain health issues or certain, uh, behavioral issues that where they can't have certain brands because of an allergy, because of something that they put in the makeup of their product, and that's one thing. So, but if you don't have any, allergies or to specific things, ask yourself, do I really need to buy this item when I can buy this one in place of it? Just whatever, some of those things. It's getting harder to do that because some of the cheaper brands, like a store brands that I always buy, are not always available, and you have to get the ones that are name brands. Every Sunday morning, I prep food for the week so we don't eat out. And then you bake for your recovery meetings. And this is such a discipline. This is very good. That one of the things Grandma Clara said in her book too was that her mom made hang on a second. She said that her mom made 6 loaves of bread every Sunday. So she would take, it's like Sundays, that was the day that she made bread, and that was their bread for the week. Um, she said, where is it? But every week my mother would make 6 loaves of bread, and every week we went through it, especially during the depression. We didn't really eat breakfast back then, not like people these days. We'd pretty much have coffee with evaporated milk and a slice of Ma's bread. But even today, she says, well, she's not here with us today. She has gone on, and but she says that we would, even today, that's what I like to have. But making bread from scratch is surely a lot of work. No wonder my mom used to be crabby a lot. But that made me think of you, Cynthia, because I know you do a lot of meal prepping and you'll do meals for the week. And I do more of my meal planning that way. I don't necessarily cook all of it on Sunday, but I really like to do things like pre-cooking meat when I get home, and then freezing it. So like doing 1 pound, cooking all of your burger and dividing it up into 1 pound bags, and then you put it in the freezer. It makes it easy to be able to just take it out and pop it into a dish during the week. But definitely having some kind of a meal plan that helps you save money, again, so you don't eat out. You're less tempted to, you know, go grab something because, take those snacks with you to work or school. Take the coffee from home with you so you're not tempted to drive through the store and get that wonderful iced chai latte with pumpkin foam on it. Oh my gosh, that's me. Drive by the Bro Bears coffee place. Oh, storms, radios, and cats. Welcome to the chat. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I'm still waiting on a coupon for peanut butter. Amen, sister. Woohoo! Yeah, what a labor of love for her family and children. And yes, totally agree. That is dedication right there, but she was also doing it out of a necessity too. And even then, a lot of the habits that I've been noticing, in her family and when she was growing up, they carried a lot of them through life. Of course, we know that the people, they saved everything. And then Clara says that if she could use it, She could find a way to use it, she would. So like instead of throwing out an old pot or something, then she would use it to, as a sugar bowl, or she would use it for something else. She said as long as something could be used for some kind of purpose, we kept it. Um she said the crates that brought our yearly grapes for wine could be reused to store other things we saved, like the jars and cans my mother used for storing food until they cracked or rusted. If something came to our house in a box, we'd save the box, the packaging, even the string that held it closed. Of course, that was different then, wasn't it? So yeah, she said otherwise, like everything was salvaged, repurposed, and reused. They saved everything. And I think, today it's within reason, don't save exactly everything because then you could get a bunch of clutter, but think about what you're throwing away or trying to recycle. And now I've got a new problem because now I'm saving things like the jelly jars. My state doesn't recycle glass anymore anyway, so I do keep the glass and I try to find another purpose for it. The things like the jelly jars or pickle jars or things like that, I will wash out real good and then I'll reuse it for something else. Maybe it's to store pasta in, maybe it's to store I don't know, something else. And oh, you know what I did use is the little coffee mate things. I took off the labels, washed those out real good and everything. And so now I use those for my own for sugar. And I do have a recipe. I've been playing with two recipes so far for homemade coffee creamer. And so far I just haven't really liked them. I don't know. I guess here's my thing I'm a snob about is coffee cream. I need the liquid creamer. And I've tried powdered cream, the Coffee Mate, the Great Value brand of powdered creamer, and I can't do it, y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to learn how to drink it black if times get tough. But I've tried. I've tried to a couple recipes. The second one seems to be okay. And I would put it in that container just like the Coffee Mate goes, and I would put it in there and use it. So, okay, Biggs Prep. Bye bye, Tater. Okay. Go tuck Tater in. Give him a kiss from all of us prep and community people. Yeah, the dehydrated foods. Yeah, I have my dehydrated vegetables in the jars and my peppers in those jars. So yeah, those work really well. And then the plastic, what I started doing is saving the containers that the strawberries come in, because they're vented and stuff. And I have a good stack. I don't know. I've got about 6 of them in there, I think. And I was going to use them in the spring to start seeds. So I was going to put some of the soil on so like when you open it up, you've got the tub part and then you have a lid, right? But if you kind of close it upside down, you've got the dirt on the lid part and then the top becomes like the little greenhouse thing kind of thing, and then it'll snap down. And then I was just going to start, seeds or do some microgreens or something in there. I don't know. But I was thinking about that kind of stuff. And I have a lot of jugs. I have water jugs that and not the ones that the ones from they're clear and you get them at the Dollar Tree with the Alpine geyser water or something in it. So I've been using those to put the distilled water that I do because I do my own distilled water. In fact, I just went to the store this afternoon because I had an order to pick up and I looked at their water section and the distilled water, again, there was not a lot. And what was there was one shelf there that had, I don't know, maybe a dozen bottles on it. And they were $3 a piece. That's crazy. And so anyway, I do the own distilled water. We use them for humidifiers, the coffee pot, and my husband's CPAP machine. So anyway, so I save those, but I have all of these little containers now. I have like I feel like I'm hoarding. I'm cluttered and all this. So um wants versus needs, that takes discipline these days after we have gotten so used to everything being available at reasonable prices and in stock. I have restricted my shopping to needs only, and it is not easy. That is so true. Um, I find myself looking at stuff and I'm just like, do I really need this? And I'll say no to some snacks, and then I'm like, but I really wanted that. So So how long are we really going to be able to deny ourselves the things that we want, right? So we're some of us are talking about restocking our candy bins or our hard candy bins. The things that we like to have, hot chocolate. I started stocking up last year, so I have like 2 years worth of hot chocolate stocked up in vacuum sealed packs. But that kind of thing, coffee. A lot of people will argue that that's a need, but it's also a want. So stocking up on things that you are using, and we should have things that we want in our stockpile, right? We should have things like, like coffee or candy, cookies, those things that fruit but that's a need. I've been feeling like it's more of a luxury these days, trying to find canned fruit. Even just fruit cocktail used to be so common, and now it's hard to find. And if I do find it, it's upwards of $3 a can. And I'm like, whoa, this is where I really want to have my own orchard out back and grow my own apples and pears and grapes. And I wish I could do all of that, but I can't. But it is very good. Very good point is that we've gotten used to everything being available and in stock, and we would just go get it. And now it's not there. And even, I'm starting to notice some of the holes are getting bigger again. So, yeah, so we're trying to, think ahead, we're all stocked up for holiday meals. We have everything that we would need for that. The only thing I'm not sure that I would have is it would be potatoes, because I make fresh potatoes, not the instant potatoes. We'll do what we have to do, but I really would like to have real potatoes, because I make real mashed potatoes. So anyway, and if they don't have it, they don't have it. We'll make do, right? Right. Is that what we're talking about? Putting our needs into perspective. And so what about some things that are not food related? Wants versus needs, right? Um, having good quality shoes, good quality. We're coming into winter, so I'm looking at good quality coats. I have two that I need to get coats for this year. I think everyone has kind of stopped growing, so so I can get them, the getting them a good quality coat. It's not they're not going to grow through it in like 2 months. So yeah, that was Nene. It was crazy for water. I couldn't believe that. It must have been some bougie brand of distilled water. The store brand of distilled water was $1.50, which has gone up because it was $1.39. And before that, it was $1.26 was the last price I remember. So anyway, it's crazy. And that's why I go ahead and do my own distilled water. I want to use those big protein powder bottles, but not sure what to put in them yet. Well, if is it like a big Gatorade bottle? Is that because I was using the Gatorade ones, could they fit the 1 pound macaroni pasta bags from the Dollar Tree? This is before the Dollar Tree became a $1.25 tree. And I was putting the macaroni pasta in the Gatorade bottles, and like the 1 pound bag fit in there perfectly. Maybe it wasn't quite a pound. It might have been 12 ounces, but I do remember that it fit in there perfectly. And those are up in my cabinet. So that was awesome. That fit in there really well. What else? If it's something, hmm. Yeah, coffee is non-negotiable. That's kinda what I'm thinking. Oh my gosh. If things were really bad, I'm gonna have to learn how to grow coffee beans, but I'm sure we're not the right temperature. Gotta have coffee. Copy that. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying the chat, creative redundancy. I just kind of wanted to just make this a light chat, but also kind of make us think a little bit too about, are we how tight and how bad are the times? I've seen all kinds of things from the stores from other prepper channels, of the stores and what their stores look like, and it's kind of creepy and scary. Um, but also, really trying to, I don't know, this book has really got me thinking, and got me thinking about to my own discussions with my grandma and my great grandma. And um, like, how bad is it going to get when I don't live in a climate, or in an area of the world that gets super, super cold. So we're not like -20, -50 below or anything like that. But I do have friends that do live in areas like that, and they can get really, um, they can see, 8, 10 feet of snow, on a daily basis. I have a friend who has to shovel her roof because they get so much snow, and she has to go out and shovel her roof off. And I've never had to do that. I don't ever remember my dad doing it even when I was a kid living up in Michigan. I never, we would get snow, and I just don't remember any of that. But he may have, but I just don't remember it. Um, but yeah, how bad is it? Like, how bad are we going to get? How chilly are we going to get? We're already thinking of, trying to figure out how far we can drop down the temperature in the house for people to be comfortable. We're looking at ways saving electricity, saving energy even more, so it's kind of crazy. Um, I learning to replace those treats with something I can make at home. Exactly. Instead of going out somewhere, make it at home, find a copycat version of your favorite drink or favorite recipe. And as long as those things can be made cheaper and in large enough quantities, that is worth stocking up on. Absolutely. We should all be looking for copycat ways, and then share the recipes so we can all take notes. And oh, let's see. Okay, so LG, it's a big one, like a gallon, and another looks like 3 gallons. Ooh, okay. Hmm. Is that, yeah, like the shakes, like making the big shakes? You know what you could do? Oh, roof shovels. Oh, you got to shovel your roof. Ooh. So, whoops, where'd it go? What you could do, the protein, um, hang on a second, I just lost it. Well, anyway, that big container, what you could do, I'm dehydrating potatoes, and then every batch I put in a Ziploc bag, and I squish the air out, and then I put those in the big coffee canisters. I have a canister that was similar, I think, to what you're talking about, and I put those in there. I don't actually put the actual food in there, but I put it in a bag and then put it in there, because sometimes I'm just not sure if any of the previous smells might permeate the food. I'm just trying to be really careful with that. Unless it was pasta, I might not really care. Okay, dry pet food maybe? That's an idea. Only difference for me, it is just me here. So how much do I make before I'm going overboard? Okay. Single person prepping. I don't know. I'm not sure if you could ever go, well, I guess you could go overboard. Um, but I guess you could figure out how much you would need to eat for, like, or what you would go through, the kind of the amount of food that you would go through in like 3 months time, and then base it on, and then go from there. Um Oh, shoot. I used to have a chart. Let me make a note and see if I can find out where I put that, and I can set and give you all a link on my community tab on YouTube. Um, it was a chart for figuring out how much food you should kind of have. Um, yeah. Maybe someone else has something that they can share real quickly. Oh, Nene, you have a roof rake for snow. Oh my gosh. Pet treats would be good. Yeah. Pet treats would be good in those. You know what? I have a lot of large bottles that have like that had chewable vitamins in them, like chewable vitamin C, and they're on like a super large kind of bottle. And I have taken those, washed those out real good, and I have put uh dog treats in them. There, I have like little dog biscuits. I have a little dog. I have a little Cavalier dog, and but anyway, I put those little things in there. But some of them I've actually have gotten some pasta in because they're a good size. Like there's like Costco size, and I've been able to get pasta, the macaroni pasta in. Yeah, here, yes. USDA website gives recommendations on how much a person should have. I knew it was somewhere. Somebody would have it. Yep. Yep. Hey, you know what? So we are an hour, we're a little over time and I didn't want to go this long, but I did want to share something with you because I found some hope in this. And so if you allow me to just come on over and read this, it's it was from my church service this morning. Okay, so please don't tap out right now because I'm not going to be preaching. I just want to read something because I found that it was very encouraging because sometimes we can get our focus right here on the here and now, the things here on level, and we see all of this stuff happening and, chaos and lots of confusion and deception, corruption, and we just have all this stuff and uncertainty going on. And that is here. But I wanted to encourage us to look up and look up, and this is where our hope will be. And in Luke chapter 21, um, verses, hang on a second, 25 through 28. And I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to preach, but it's very hopeful because it is really relevant to today. And the scripture says, and there will be signs in the sun, in the moon, and in the stars, and on the earth, distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea, and the waves roaring. So we've had all of this, right? Hurricanes, we've had distress of nations, things happening in the sky, okay? We also have, verse 26, men's heart failing them from fear and the expectation of those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. So we have lots of people feeling overwhelmed. Our hearts are failing them from fear and the expectation of those things that we're seeing, the wars and the distresses of nations and that kind of thing. Verse 27 says, then they will see the Son of Man coming on a cloud with power and great glory. This should give us hope because we are getting closer to this time. We still don't know when, and it may not be today. It may not even be in our lifetime. However, we can see from scripture that the time is coming close. And verse 28 says, now, when these things begin to happen, look up and lift up your heads because your redemption draws near. And so I just found that so hopeful and to remind us that our hope is not here. It's not in our preps. It's not even really in our skills, okay? Because all of that we could lose, like we said earlier, we could lose these things. We could lose our abilities, okay? That could happen suddenly. We don't know. We could lose all of these things, but you know what? We don't lose hope because we know that all this stuff that's happening around here, okay, it's crazy, but our hope is coming. This is where we find our hope. Our redemption draws nigh, okay? And so keep focusing on that. Keep your hope above and set on the things above. Don't get led astray by everything that's happening down here. Don't, because we will lose our hope. We will get frustrated. We're going to go crazy. We're going to get grumpy. We're going to get crazy and be, we don't need to be that. We need to be strong because we know where our hope lies and we know how this story ends, don't we? I've read the book. I've read the last book of the Bible. I know how this ends, folks. Okay. And so keep your hope up, keep your eyes up above. Okay. We do need to be aware of what's going on around us, but this is where our hope is. Okay. Stay strong in that. Okay. So Ark Wildman, did you just come on here? You came in on a great time. Oh my goodness. And welcome to New Land. Okay, I can't even see this. This thing cuts everybody off. Who is that? New Land Prepper. Welcome. So, yes, keep your hope, keep your eyes focused above, okay? And I want you all to have a great week, all right? Take that, go into the week, keep your hope up. I'm going to be watching all y'all's channels, okay? And y'all pray for me because I don't want to freeze when we go camping this weekend. All right. I love you all. Thank you for being here. And I will catch you in the next video. All right. Take care.